their next task, which is taking one of those old nickel-hydrogen batteries and putting it on the adapter plate that the astronauts just finished installing. So while they're working on the station end of things, you can see the robotic arm currently in motion. At the controls is Luca Parmitano. He's switching up the interface and the accessibility of the external pallet for what will eventually be the astronauts accessing the last lithium-ion battery. So again, that first task to swap those two batteries, the adapter plate from the external pallet over to the station, and then take one of those old nickel hydrogen batteries over to the external pallet. This task has been completed. So now the two spacewalking astronauts will take the nickel hydrogen battery from slot 6. They'll move it over to slot number 4 where the adapter plate currently resides.
We copy, Drew. Check ingress aid stowed, tethers clear, and tell us the serial number.
Okay, the ingress aid is stowed, tethers are clear, and it's 0100. 0100.
Copy 0100. That's the expected serial number. We'll pause here for a moment for the battery work. We will use Christina's PGT with the 6-inch.
Okay, and the tip pin is installed. So, and assume it just goes in the circle on the base of the pin unit.
That's affirmative, Christina. Yes, that's affirmative, Christina. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll be doing H1 first, so I'm in position here, and I'll hand you my PGT.
I think this one that we already did H1, correct?
That's affirmative.
So we'll just go straight to H2.
That's correct. You can go straight to H2. Christina, attach your RET to the battery tether point, locking it out with slack.
Okay. So let's talk about body positioning. So this won't be a K-turn. I can receive it down by your feet straight away. And since we just have this one to drive and you're well positioned, you'd like me to go ahead and ready to receive?
Yeah, so I think we're going over here. So I'll need to, so having you there, and then
okay, the PGT available.
Yeah, and then I'll do the roll maneuver with the APFR after that. So basically the translation path you just took, you're going to do the reverse of that.
Okay, that makes sense. Yep, nope, I'm tracking now.
Okay, when you are all set, then we'll be ready for PGT on H2. It's low in the envelope, but I think we'll be able to get it.
Yeah.
You have a handhold option here on the PFCS if you want it, if you think that will help.
Well, think maybe if I just position my right hand on this handrail and just stay up high, the way yes, I feel like puts me in your path when you're going to roll the APFR.
Yeah, true. Okay. PGT and your red. Yeah, and I can take your red as well.
Stephanie, you said red to the H2 scoop for me? Oh, no, battery tether point.
Battery tether point, please.
Battery tether point.
All right, that is complete.
And it is locked out with slack?
I'll add some slack if you lock it out.
Yeah. Okay, it is locked out.
Great.
It's slack.
Copy that. I have settings for the PGT with the 6-inch when you're ready. 30 seconds to a 20-second handover.
All right, Drew, there you go.
All right.
Encountering another handover of communications. Again, those tracking and data relay satellites providing video and audio communication from the station. This is a live view of the International Space Station Flight Control Room. Here in the room orbit 2 teams, the second of 3 shifts that staff this room 24/7, overseeing the spacewalk, U.S. Spacewalk 57 today.
Not straight now, but a second ago it was. There we go. That looks straight to me.
Yeah, that looks.
The astronauts a little bit ahead of schedule as they are continuing to fly through their procedures today. The International Space Station itself still in an orbital daytime, but nighttime coming up soon. Space Station 260, statute miles, right over Poland at this time.
Alpha 7, counterclockwise 2.
The 2 spacewalking astronauts working on some of those bolts that are securing the nickel hydrogen battery in the slot number 6 of the station's interface. They're going to remove that nickel hydrogen battery and put it onto the adapter plate that they just installed very recently, slot number 4. In the meantime, the station's robotic arm, you can see at the tip there, the external pallet that was removed from the H-2 transfer vehicle, the Japanese cargo vehicle that currently resides on the station. That external pallet brought up some lithium-ion batteries, 2 of which have been installed on this power channel. Right now, the station astronauts moving some batteries around to get ready to install a 3rd onto this power channel. 3 more will be used on the other side of the station's far port truss, the 4B channel. Right now, they're currently working on the 2B.
616, 16.5.
Copy. 16.5. Thank you. Unlock the RET and work together to remove the battery. You'll orient the battery with H2 outboard.
Copy, H2 outboard. Because when we insert, yep, that orientation, so. And I think we'll give you this one with handle up. It's different than usual, just to keep it in its orientation.
Okay. PGT is stowed. I'm in a good position to receive the battery, and I see that we can lock out my RET, or unlock my RET. It's unlocked.
Copy. Straight back.
Andrew Morgan removing the old nickel hydrogen battery from its position. Those 2 bolts have been driven out of the way. Now they'll do a handoff maneuver. Andrew Morgan handing that 364-pound nickel hydrogen battery off to Christina Cook. It's not going very far. It's just going from slot number 6 to slot number 4, which is really just 1 slot over.
And you can take the H1.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, and I'll be able to fix any orientation that we need. Okay, so what I'll try to egress without bumping too much. roll to hotel or re-ingress.
Copy.
Hey,
Okay.
now when you're ready, I've got it towards you in a position for you to receive it when you're ready.
Okay. And so I think I'm going to need to put a red on it, yeah.
Thanks. Release mine, you mean?
I think so. I think that's going to work out better. I want you to remain in control.
Okay, I have the better.
Okay.
So don't release that, obviously. Are you ready to it?
Yeah, I just wanted you to confirm that you can see it. My red is on.
Ah, okay.
Yep, my red is on.
Yep, coming to me.
Okay. I have H1, I have control of the battery.
Okay, you have the battery. I'm going to let H2 go and move it towards your left hand.
Yep, go ahead and send it up and over.
Okay.
That's good.
Send over me. I see that. Good job. Momentum down. Nice.
All right, I have two hands on it.
Copy.
And I'll need your eyes on the side where the gap spanner is.
Yep, I'll pull up my... and I'll be right over to help.
Christina Cook successfully handing that battery off to Andrew Morgan, who had to move his portable foot restraint into a better position to make sure he is in a good configuration to put the battery in its new home on slot 4. That gap spanner they're referring to is just a translation aid. That just means it's a strap to help them maneuver from section to section on the space station.
Yeah, it does look like we're past it, and the cable's all clear.
Yep,
They're checking their configuration, their tether configuration, the placement of the battery itself, making sure all is good as they slide it into place. You can see here from the corner of Christina Cook's helmet camera, slide it into place right on top of the adapter plate that they just recently installed.
H2 down into the slot more, and maybe go ahead and lift H1 out a little bit of the slot, and then...
Feels like soft.
Okay, yeah, it may be. I just can tell that the H1 side is about an inch farther down, so we'll need to straighten it out before we start driving.
H1 is too deep.
Correct, but that's a little better. H1 a little more out.
Okay. Let me some slack into the red. Soft dot.
Okay.
We copy good soft dock and slack in the ret. I have PGT settings for the PGT with the 6-inch when you're ready.
And one.
There's slack in the red.
All right, Drew? Yeah.
Christina Cook and Andrew Morgan working concurrently on the same battery, getting that nickel hydrogen battery just moved over to on top of the adapter plate. This creates an empty slot for the nickel hydrogen battery to eventually be placed.
Confirm tape lined flush to the H2 scoop.
Scoops are handling aid that'll help them to move that nickel hydrogen battery. Again, the nickel hydrogen battery on top of the adapter plate opens up a slot for some of the new lithium ion batteries.
All right, hold on.
Those, the last of the 3 lithium ion batteries that will be placed on this particular channel, the 2B channel on the far port truss, currently resides on the external pallet. After this task is complete and the lithium and the nickel hydrogen battery is bolted down to the adapter plate, the two spacewalking astronauts will head over to the external pallet to grab that last lithium-ion battery.
Okay. Is the H1 side feel a little high? Are you able to see?
No, it looks even.
Okay.
Looks like it just went a bit high. Oh, I see why. Okay, so I think let's pause. I'll keep it here. Your right waist tether is around the scoop on H1, the one that's going to the ingress stage. There you go. Now, that's why that was happening.
Okay, perfect. Cool. Okay. Stephanie, begin turns.
16 to 17 turns.
Starting turns. Tap the collar again.
Drew, Christina, while you're working the collar with the PGT, Luca will be moving the arm to the EP delta position. We just wanted to double check, make sure you're clear from your perspective.
Okay, copy. Yep.
Yep, we're clear.
Copy, thank you.
That nickel hydrogen battery in a good soft dock position, just going to hard mate the nickel hydrogen to the station's interface right here. There's two bolts that they have to drive.
Okay, starting turns.
This first one will be about 16 to 17 turns with the pistol grip tool, a cordless space drill that'll help it to secure the nickel hydrogen battery to the station's interface. In the meantime, Luca Parmitano controlling the station's robotic arm from the inside of the International Space Station. At the end of the robotic arm is the external pallet where that last lithium-ion battery resides. While the two have been working on the station's interface and not needing to access the external pallet, Parmitano has been reconfiguring the external pallet so that those last parts are accessible. There's two parts needed from the external pallet. It's one lithium-ion battery and one adapter plate, and that will complete the configuration on the 2B channel for today's spacewalk.
15 turns, green light, status indicator lock.
It was right at 16, 6 turns. The indicator is unlocked.
Copy 16 and copy the indicator. PGT settings are the same for H1. Alpha 7, clockwise 2.
Alpha 7, clockwise 2, set.
It's a good read back, confirm, tape line flush to the H1 scoop.
Line flush.
Line flush.
That is straight.
Copy, drive H1 4 to 5.5 turns.
Four and a half turns. Green light. Torque 9.1.
Station's robotic arm in motion, the external pallet being moved into a position for some of the upcoming tasks. In the meantime, Andrew Morgan and Christina Cook continuing to work on securing that nickel hydrogen battery onto the adapter plate of the station's interface.
The PGT.
And then let me... Okay,
I'm ready.
A couple of tools there in your path. I don't want them to get off.
Okay, I'll keep eyes on them.
Drew, you can unlock and release the ret.
Released.
Copy. Drew, for the next actions, you can either perform them while ingress or you may need to egress. Retrieve the scoops from the battery in this slot in slot 4 roll the APFR over to the right, and then install the scoops on battery 5, which is in the top corner, radiator side inboard.
Next actions for Christina, because she's going to be kind of in that vicinity here while I'm repositioning the APFR.
Christina translates back to the EP.
Okay, copy.
Okay.
2 hours, 24 minutes into today's spacewalk. That arm's still in motion, getting into position for some of the upcoming tasks. In the meantime, you're seeing the station enter into an orbital nighttime as it passes 255 statute miles right over India.
I am off of the IEA and headed to the EP.
We copy Christina. Luca is working the final adjustments with the arm.
Okay. Okay, Stephanie, I'm at the APFR.
Copy, Christina.
Would you like me to hold off on ingressing until arm ops are complete?
Christina, we were just discussing that. Now that you're in the vicinity, this was initially set up as a GCA. We can hand you over to Luca to continue to work that, the published position and also the GCA.
Okay, and will I eventually be ingressing for this GCA? Typically, we wait until Drew is here and he's the one translating over to the EP. So I understand that I'll be in the APFR and he'll be translating onto the EP. Normal.
Checking. Christina, the ingress at this point is up to you if you prefer to ingress for the GCA to publish in the GCA or after the arm motion is complete. That is your call.
Okay. I'll go ahead and ingress now because that's the position that will offer me the best insight as to how we do need to GCA, if at all. This is not an AP handoff. We may not need the same GCA. I may be able to use my ingress aid to translate over to the EP.
Yeah, I think that will be the case if we're not taking one, we're not taking an AP off.
Okay.
We copy. Drew, if you have a free hand, please power cycle your WVS.
Stephanie, that's H1, H2 on battery 5 are installed at the clock orientation.
Copy 6 o'clock. Thank you. If the APFR is also rolled over to Delta to be aligned with that inboard column, we show your work complete at the IAA. You can translate near to the EP to work with Christina.
Let me just clarify that right now which whiff I'm in.
The two spacewalkers off to the next task, that battery stow of the old nickel hydrogen battery on top of the adapter plate, now done. They're off to retrieve that lithium-ion battery. You can see Christina Cook entering into the portable foot restraint, getting some nice access where that lithium-ion battery is stowed on the external pallet. Andrew Morgan shortly behind. The task that they just completed, again, was the nickel hydrogen battery stowing onto a different part of the station.
The only thing we feel is necessary is a roll to Delta to lean it to the right.
Okay. Roger.
Again, they just completed the work with the nickel hydrogen battery, freeing up that spot number 6 and moving the old battery over to slot number 4. The task they're on now is taking the lithium-ion battery that's on the external pallet. That's the one that's in front of Christina Cook right now. And the task will be to move it over to the station in slot number 6, where the slot is currently freed up. Christina Cook getting into position right now in the portable foot restraint, getting a good angle on that lithium-ion battery. She'll use the pistol grip tool to unbolt it.
Thank you.
In the meantime, Andrew Morgan will be going to help her out and give her some tools, including a handling aid to receive the battery once Christina Cook has it removed from the external pallet.
Stephanie, how are we looking on the day right now? Overall timeline.
PET is 2 hours, 30 minutes. We show you about 25 minutes ahead on the timeline.
Great.
Hey, Drew?
Head your way. All right, and I'm going to climb out using ingress aid.
Okay, and on your way up, take a look at my left foot. Let me know if it looks good to you.
Okay.
And I think I may have done a roll forward, which is pitch in this APFR config.
Correct,
Would you mind checking my
I have you at
roll?
echo.
Yeah.
Is that too far forward?
I think the EP is fairly far here, so this may work. So I think we're good. Question is, are you going to be able to get to the EP without any GPA?
Well, you have to use your ingress aid, but since we're just taking a big battery, for the handoff, I'm going to be, once we have the battery released,
Yep.
I can come back over here on structure, and I should be able to take the handoff just fine.
Okay.
So if the APFR is comfortable for you, right now the position looks good. Even with the pitch forward, how does your body stance feel?
Yeah, it feels pretty good.
Okay.
I think this is kind of like a plus or minus roll situation. If Stephanie, do you agree?
Well, Drew, Christina, that we are not at the final published position, but we're copying your assessment. We're discussing.
Ah, okay.
And for info, this is Luca on 1. We're about 70 centimeters from the published position.
Okay, and in what direction will you be moving? Will you be moving toward me?
Perfect. 70 centimeters towards you.
Okay. I think what we can do then is just do about 30 centimeters toward me, and that'll be a good location for the H2 removal.
Okay, copy. And starting GCA.
Copy. Starting GCA and concur.
Luca Parmitano on the inside of the International Space Station at the controls of the station's robotic arm. At the end there is the external pallet. Both crew members positioned on the station side. Luca Parmitano currently moving the arm just a few centimeters closer just to make sure that it's in a good configuration and for the reach of Christina Cook, who is about to work with the external pallet to remove that lithium-ion battery.
And with that, I can call GCA complete.
The GCA complete. The brakes are coming off. On.
Copy.
Brakes are on.
Copy. Brakes are on.
Copy, brakes are on.
Houston copies as well. Christina, double check ingress aid stowed and tethers clear, and read us the serial number.
Copy. Ingress aid is stowed. Tethers are clear. Serial number 0017.
Sorry, you're going to feel me?
Yep. Gotcha.
Copy 0017. Attach a RET to the battery H1 scoop, locking it out with slack.
Mark. It is on H1.
Come around to the other side.
And the red is locked out.
Copy RET on H1, and it's locked out with slack. I have PGT settings for the PGT with the 6-inch when you're ready.
Copy, and I'm ready.
Alpha 7, counter clockwise 2.
I have Alpha 7, counter 2 set.
The external pallet in a good position for Christina Cook. In the hands is the cordless space drill, the PGT pistol grip tool. Currently one bolt securing the lithium-ion to the external pallet. She'll use that to remove the lithium-ion battery and begin the handoff to Drew Morgan, who is standing by nearby.
While I get a local.
Copy.
So,
Not quite flush.
we're not flush.
Okay, I think
That is tape line flush.
Yep, I see tape line flush.
Copy tape line flush, release H2, about 19 turns.
And work.
I'm going to move it this direction.
Releasing. Can you count through? But you're counting?
Okay.
Is it skipping?
I would give it just a little bit more.
Okay. Got his turn count?
Yep.
Okay, starting.
Okay, let's say we're skipping it right at 18 turns, and the indicator is in unlock.
Yep, I see that, and if we just almost topped off with the
we did.
removal of the tool, so let me...
Yep.
All right, you've got positive pressure. I'll go ahead and pull it out of
Go ahead.
the rotation feature.
Go ahead.
Okay, I've got the PGT off.
Okay, I got a hand on it.
We copied 18 turns, status indicator unlocked for H2. I see you working to stow the PGT.
Gregory, back.
Unlock the RET and work together to remove the battery. Drew should receive the H2 scoop.
configuration we're in right now. When I get down there on structure, I'm not sure if H2 will be the easiest one for me to get.
I'm ready to it?
Yeah. So,
okay.
But we're ready, and that's a good thing.
Okay.
If you're soft docked, it's barely, so I'm going to take my hand off and start translating back.
Okay, and I'll leave it in this soft dock config while you translate on my ingress aid, and then I'll pull it out when you're clear and on structure.
I like it.
Christina Cook and Andrew Morgan talking their way through the handoff here. You can see from the helmet camera of Christina Cook, in her grip is a scoop. This is a handling aid where she can easily maneuver the 428-pound lithium-ion battery. Same dimensions as the nickel hydrogen, just slightly heavier in mass. Andrew Morgan about to make his way down towards the station, making the handoff a little bit easier now that the battery itself has been removed, or at least unbolted from the external pallet.
You gonna fill me on the ingress aid?
Yep.
I'm trying to get to the usual handoff position.
Okay.
Go down and I'll get a Brett and me have a look back and make sure that a good reach.
Looks like it might be a little bit far, but once the battery will make up the distance.
Yeah, I think it will.
Okay.
But if there's any concern, I'll come right here, and then I have a Brett ready. I'm going to put a Rhett onto H1. I think that's our best option.
Let's just back with Stephanie. Stephanie, can you read again which H-bolt I'm handing to Drew? And any plans for a Rhett swap?
Yes, we do have it written with a Rhett swap, but that the ending config has Drew on the H2 side. But whatever you feel works best, we're happy with.
Okay, copy. Drew, I can lean back and probably spin H1 to you. Stephanie, do you all have him reading to the battery tether point?
No, we have him reading also to the to the H2 scoop.
Okay, that shouldn't be a problem. Drew, if you agree, I'll go ahead and spin this so that and hand you H2.
No,
or would you rather do the spin later?
I think I can do the spin in the APFR, and here it's going to be tough.
Okay.
The scoop that's coming to me, I'm going to Rhett to you.
Okay. Do the spin later.
Back away just a little bit from the EP.
Copy and work.
And then advance the handle towards me.
All right. Need back up.
And just angle down, and we have to reach. We just need to bring it down a little bit.
Okay, I'm doing that. Just absolutely sure it's staying clear of the EP on the inside.
Yeah, I have a Rhett on it.
I see that.
And I have the battery.
You have the battery. Let me go ahead and remove my Rhett.
Actually, before you remove your Rhett, and keep a hand on it,
yep. I have the battery.
I'm gonna go one handle.
Copy.
So that you have room to get down and over. I have the battery.
Okay, and I still have my red on it.
These verbal cues are critical for the handoff between Christina Cook and Andrew Morgan to make sure that the battery is secure and in the hands of an astronaut at all times. The RET, that's the retractable tether, make sure that they're handing those off as well, that the battery is tethered at all times as well.
That way, right now, I don't like its proximity to the EP.
So we have the fins oriented kind of up and away into space here. I think it's
okay.
I think it'll be good.
This is a better orientation. Agreed. All right. If you've got a little slack to get my way, I'll go ahead and get my red off. Okay, my red is removed. You have the battery.
I have the battery.
Good call, and it's in a great config. Fins are away from structure. And Stephanie, I believe I'm egressing next.
That's affirmative. We're ready for you to egress and work together to shepherd the battery to the IEA, and we like your config with the fins.
The lithium-ion battery handed off from Christina Cook over to Andrew Morgan, who has it currently in his hands, allows Christina Cook to get out of that foot restraint that allowed her good access to the lithium-ion battery for the unbolting, working with the pistol grip tool, that cordless space drill to remove it from the external pallet. The next step will be to shepherd the lithium-ion battery over to its new home, integrated onto the International Space Station.
Take your time, do what you need.
Okay. Okay. So we're back to completely nominal on the UPFR settings now with a roll of foxtrot.
Houston copies.
Is that much of an impact?
No, it wasn't. I mean, yep, same as between, foxtrot and golf. It really wasn't that big of an impact. I think, luckily, with the GCA, it allows you to make up for a lot.
It sounds like Mark is making a cameo.
I hear that.
I am, and your assessment is correct. At most, we might have to do some more GCA to continue to what we thought would be the publish, but we're all good.
All right. And Drew, I'm going to come one handrail in, and then I'll...
Can get you a couple more inches, maybe.
Okay, I have the battery.
Okay. Little out there, and you have the battery?
Yep.
I mean, I think I've gone too far.
Oh, I'm still nudging up with you. I have a long handrail to work with, so
Good.
good.
Okay.
All right, this is stretched out.
Okay. Local is down.
See that?
Dampen out, and I have the battery.
Okay, you have the battery.
We'll have EP behind us here for a little bit, so we got to keep with the fins
Okay.
going toward our heads.
Copy.
If you give me a little push, I can then some more. There you go.
I have the battery.
You have the battery.
And we are 30 seconds from a 20-second handover.
Copy.
Copy, Mark.
I'm going to just pull you into the outstretched position a little bit.
Perfect.
Now handing over video and audio communications from the tracking and data relay satellites, those geosynchronous satellites, about 22 or 23,000 miles away from the Earth, as the International Space Station orbits 250 miles. Andrew Morgan and Christina Cook working through their procedures today, moving that lithium-ion battery to its new home on the International Space Station. Well ahead of the timeline, about 25 minutes or so. The two spacewalking astronauts working that lithium-ion battery over to the integrated electronics assembly you can see on the graphic to the right, moving it from the external pallet that's on the end of the station's robotic arm.
Basically almost where I'm at right now at the base of the IEA. On the non-radiator side.
Yeah, I think that's plenty. If you're right there, that gives you lots of handholds.
Yep.
And I'll be able to mess around and get us in the orientation we need to.
Okay.
Let me think here. If you have that, I pull that in the orientation. Yep, I think we'll be in a good position here.
Yeah, I have the battery.
You have the battery.
And
Good?
yep.
Okay, I'm going to start the climb over here for ingress.
Copy.
Ending that red.
Yep. That's actually what I was starting to say a second ago. I think you'll want it under that red onto the boot plate or wherever you're putting it.
Say again?
Well, I was just going to say when you connect that waste tether, you'll probably want it under.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Like that. Yep. Okay.
Spacewalking astronauts in an orbital nighttime today are right now at 271 statute miles over the Earth. The two astronauts made their way and the lithium-ion battery from the external pallet over to the station. They opened up a slot a little bit earlier by moving one of the older nickel-hydrogen batteries out of the way and installed it on an adapter plate for stowage. The lithium-ion battery will be installed into the empty slot.
Okay.
And I'm going to get a hand on it.
Okay, and then...
Okay, let me just think about
After that lithium-ion battery is installed, there's one more maneuver to take an adapter plate from the external pallet and swap it with the position of an old nickel-hydrogen battery that currently resides adjacent to where the lithium-ion battery is going.
This is way completely. I'm showing you with back.
And I need to get the doghouse into my left hand. If you would just keep it one hand on it for 1 second while I switch grip.
That's perfect. I've got the battery.
You have the battery.
Yep, good move.
Okay.
And then I can send this over to your other hand.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to send it up and over.
Good idea. Yep. You have the battery.
I have the battery.
Christina and Drew, friendly reminder for the inspections on the IEA and for the back of the battery.
Okay, so I'll show you the back of the battery now while I'm in this position.
Okay, and I can get the IEA after that. Okay, I see the back of the battery. I see good pins. And I get the connectors. Okay, Drew, if you're able to lift it out a little bit, I can get the connectors. One.
Spacewalking astronauts Andrew Morgan and Christina Cook in a good position, getting ready to install that lithium-ion battery into the empty slot on the 2B power channel of the space station. Just making a final inspection of the battery and the and where it is to be installed, making sure there's no foreign object debris, and getting ready to soft dock that battery into its position as the International Space Station flies 271 statute miles over the South Pacific Ocean, just southeast off the coast of New Zealand, into an orbital sunrise.
Back of the battery.
Okay, I'm going to start maneuvering towards...
Okay. Well, we need to get the check from the IEA.
That's affirmative.
So I have eyes on those as well. All right, I see good. 05, 10, near my band.
Another handover of video communication. Still getting some audio from the crew aboard the International Space Station. Those spacewalking astronauts. You're getting a live look at the inside of the International Space Station Flight Control Room. Teams here looking after the International Space Station and helping the two spacewalking astronauts through their tasks today.
If we go to soft dock the battery onto H2, locking out the Retwood slack, and for your awareness, we're coming up on about a 3-minute period of RADICOM followed by a 20-second handover.
Okay.
All right. Would like me to help guide it down. Soft dock, let me know if you're in a good place for that, but it is in a good spot to start pushing in.
Copy. I'll level it out here.
Okay. And how is your reach to H1?
My reach to H1 is good.
Okay. Hey, you're looking good.
Drew Morgan and Christina Cook referring to those bolts that will ultimately secure the lithium-ion battery to the station. H1 and H2 are the bolts.
That's a good call. Although we can always remove the scoop if we need to right off.
I think that is going to be the case on that one.
I agree.
Okay, soft duck. Get the slack out of this. Now, I think, you know, what I'm going to do is, that we have red on it. Now I'm read it to the tether point. I'm afraid that is actually going to side load it, even if I try to.
And if you lock it out?
I'm afraid that I will.
Oh, you got it. Nice.
Yeah, I'm afraid there's where it was going to be hard to lock it out and keep
Don't
it
worry.
out of the way.
But the cleaner config now. I like it.
Okay, I think we're ready for peak.
And did you lock that new red out?
I'm gonna put slack in it now.
Still in a handover period with those satellites. Should be regaining some views from the International Space Station shortly.
Clockwise 2.
Confirmation from the crew that they're soft docking the lithium-ion batteries, or that lithium-ion battery to the station. Working through those procedures to ultimately get it bolted down.
I have the PG. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, Stephanie, you with us?
We're in RADICOM, but PGT settings Alpha 7 clockwise 2.
Alpha 7 clockwise 2, set.
Confirm tape line flush to the H2 scoop.
Work.
Ten seconds to handover.
There you go.
Tape line flush.
Three hours into today's spacewalk, starting at 6:38 a.m. Central Time today. The crew rocking through their timeline, already completing the task of installing an adapter plate and moving an old nickel hydrogen battery over to the external pallet, as well as on top of the integrated electronics assembly. Currently in the middle of the task of installing a lithium-ion battery moved from the external pallet you see on the graphic at the top left there over to the work site over on the right. That'll be the third of three to be installed on this particular channel, the 2B channel. That's at the very far port side of the International Space Station. And that'll complete that channel in particular. The upcoming spacewalks will be working on the other side of the far port truss. That's the 4B power channel.
Drew, Christina, we're back with you after the handover.
Okay, copy. And so we're in soft dock. And
what? Brett, I think that might have been it.
Okay.
Yep.
More slack. I'm going to lean back further and put more slack.
Okay. Okay, I've got less slack.
Again, we're working on the 2B channel. That exposed pallet contained 6 lithium-ion batteries when it was delivered on HTV-8. HTV-8 delivered 6 lithium-ion batteries as well as associated adapter plates.
And you had tape line flush the H2 scoop?
The two spacewalking astronauts today completing the 2B channel. So far, 2 lithium-ion batteries and 2 adapter plates have been successfully installed into the integrated assembly that's on the station. They're working on that third lithium-ion battery, and they'll wrap up today's spacewalk with the installation of that final adapter plate. Now that leaves 3 more of the new batteries on the exposed pallet. They'll be working on the other side of the truss on the 4B channel and some of the upcoming spacewalks.
Alpha 7 clockwise 2. We just needed a cow again.
And before you insert that, you may want to fold back your ingress aid just a skosh. It's not interfering now, but there you go. Perfect. You're not there. A little word now, tape line flush.
Tape line flush. Turns. Okay, happening. I got an unexpected early one turn, and we got a green light and a nice.
Regaining some of that video communication from the International Space Station, you can see now lit by the sun. We're in an orbital daytime, 269 statute miles over the South Pacific Ocean on a northeasterly course towards Central America.
Andrew, we'd like both of you to assess body alignment, double check no side loads and good alignment over the bolt.
Copy. So, Christina, I think that being directly over it like this is not not the best body position.
I agree. It can be tough.
So I might be able to help you with alignment, but I could get more out of the way like this, if you know what I mean, and then have you put your hand on the trigger.
Okay, for that, let me go ahead and position myself on the H2 scoop of battery 5.
Okay. And I'll hang on to the PGT and just tend it.
Okay.
Are you gonna go down and around the HFR or up and out? Okay.
I think up.
Yep, I agree.
So yeah, I am the HFR.
Andrew Morgan and Christina Cook. You can see from the helmet camera of Andrew Morgan in his hand the pistol grip tool. This is the cordless space drill they're using to bolt the lithium ion into place into the assembly on the International Space Station, talking their way through the best position to get this thing secured to the space station. Andrew Morgan currently in a foot restraint, so Christina Cook has a little bit more mobility to get that thing secured. Communication is key during these spacewalks.
You're right in front of you. Yeah.
Again, they're in the middle of a task to install a new lithium-ion battery onto the integrated electronics assembly of the International Space Station. Power that's drawn from the solar arrays gets routed to this assembly and stored in the batteries. This is the third lithium-ion battery to be installed on this assembly. An adapter plate will follow later during today's spacewalk.
Here's each other. There we go.
Yeah, it's coming off the right over your left side. Able to see it?
Yep.
Yeah.
I do. I think it looks like it's in a good config, right?
I'll be able to help you out of it after you back out.
We're on.
Tape
Okay.
line flush.
We have tape line flush.
Okay, and the red is locked out. Nothing's side loaded.
I agree. Let me turn.
One.
It's jacking. I'm at 15 turns.
Yep, I agree.
Copy 15 turns for this attempt. Nice teamwork. Check status indicator lock.
Green. Status indicator is locked. Green light, 9.1 on the torch.
Copy status indicator lock. Green light 9.1 on the torque. Same settings for H1. Alpha 7 clockwise
Copy
2.
that. Copy.
Right. For this one, I could go back to my original position, or if you think he's got it, I can just stay here.
Take a look.
Okay. Line flush.
Tape line flush.
Copy tape line flush.
Turns
Drive
on H1.
H1 4 to 5.5 turns.
Copy 4 to 5. Turns.
Andrew Morgan And Christina Cook working on that first bolt together, getting in a good position and going through those turns. Now securing the lithium-ion battery through that second bolt.
It was right at 4.5. Green light, 9.3 torque. And we are in lock, L-O-C-K, lock. I can see it clearly.
Copy, green light, 9.3 on the torque, status indicator lock. Say it again, turn count.
It's right at 4.5, 5.
Copy, 4.5 to 5. Great, thank you. So you're handing the PGT back to Christina. She can stow it, unlock and release the RET.
Copy.
I'll take glove, HAP, and gauntlet checks from you both.
I'll be happy to start while he's doing the RET.
Yep, go ahead.
My glove. One new area where a small amount of RTV is coming off of my right thumb. And on the left, no changes. Back half, gauntlets are down.
Copy your checks, Christina.
Okay, Stephanie, I've got a dry half. My gauntlets are down. The left glove baseline, no changes. Right glove, that panel on the ring finger, first panel in, that was elevated is now gone, but there's intact RTV underneath. And otherwise, no other changes to report.
And we copy. Drew, good checks. We're happy with those. For PET, we show about 3 hours, 12 minutes. We show you about 30 to 40 minutes ahead of the timeline. Limiting consumables are 6 hours, 50 minutes for EV1's MEDOX. And we had a good connectivity check with the last battery adapter plate pair.
Good days all around.
Yes, and nice work for you both on this battery. Next, we're working to release the battery in slot 5, that upper corner radiator side on the inboard side. Drew, now it's time to relocate the APFR to width 18 with a clocking of 12.
Roger that.
Drew?
Yep.
This is where we'll talk through the handoff because I likely will not be able to translate where I've been translating your APFR set up there.
Yeah, do you want to,
The two spacewalkers today, Andrew Morgan and Christina Cook, rocking through their timeline, completing the task of installing the lithium-ion battery to the station. Good reports from Stephanie Wilson, the ground IV here on the ground, confirming that they are way ahead of the timeline, about 30 to 40 minutes. They're off to the next task, which will be another swap technique, very similar to the first one we saw today. They'll take an old battery off of the station to the pallet and then grab one of those adapter plates from the pallet and bring it to station, very similar to what we saw as the first task of the day.
Stephanie, for the team, you guys had ran this time that you or the person in my position was able to translate off.
So here's the task that they just completed, taking the lithium-ion battery from the pallet over to the Integrated Electronics Assembly, the IEA that they commonly refer to, over to slot 6. That task is done.
Checking.
The last major task of the day will be to configure that lithium-ion battery, which needs an adapter plate. So they'll move one of the old nickel-hydrogen batteries out of the way from slot 5, move it over to the external pallet, and then bring that adapter plate that currently resides on the external pallet over to the Integrated Electronics Assembly. Now starting those procedures as the two astronauts will be splitting up to complete this task. Christina Cook will be working on releasing that old battery, taking the nickel hydrogen battery and removing it from its position. Andrew Morgan will start by assisting Christina Cook in this activity. Morgan with the pistol grip tool in hand, and he'll be the one entering into the, or ingressing the portable foot restraint to get in a good position for that activity. And then they'll perform a handoff maneuver similar to what we saw earlier in today's spacewalk with the adapter plate over at the external pallet.
In terms of worksite cleanup, while Drew is moving the APFR, or anything?
Christina, I can check on that as well. To answer your earlier question, when we ran this in the pool, the APFR was in this new WIF 18. There was clearance along that inboard line of handrails, but it was tight. We believe if you wanted, you could reposition more inboard to the spare PFCS. But whatever you two feel will work best, we'll be happy with.
Okay, happy. And Drew, part of that assessment is also going to be whether you think your body position is good enough to do these H2 solo. Because then I can just start, inboard of you, and I could actually get into position before you even begin.
Right.
And we do only have H2.
Stephanie Wilson, you see in the window at the bottom of your screen, she is the ground IV here in Mission Control Houston. Her job is to walk the astronauts through the procedures today. She's communicating with both Andrew Morgan and Christina Cook on Spaceground 1 today, who are hot mic'd in their suits. Next to her is Mark Van Hyl at Capcom. He's working with the crew on the inside of the space station.
Christina, to add more for your thinking.
Now, while Stephanie Wilson actually communicates these procedures to the crew, we have Keith Johnson, the EVA lead spacewalk officer today, here in the room. He is working with his teammates in the back rooms who are going through the intricate procedures of today's spacewalk.
And we copy.
Flight teams here in Mission Control Houston, led by Flight Director T.J. Creamer. Next to T.J. Creamer, Judd Freeling. Flight Director who will also be overseeing some of the tasks during some of the later spacewalks that are part of this series of 5.
Full twist test. It is black on black.
Copy.
Meanwhile, the 2 crew members working through that next task of getting the old nickel hydrogen battery out of its slot, freeing up that space to allow a adapter plate to take its place from the external pallet.
Right now, which seems to work well.
And we copy?
Wise Fox 12.
Copy that. If you're happy, we're happy. Once you two are happy with the plan and the positioning, Drew, you can ingress.
Okay. So you do think that it is going to be possible right through here?
I do.
Okay. I think so too. If nothing else, I could do a lean back.
Yep, and maybe I do it while the battery's full and stops off, so there's just one less thing.
Yeah, No,
Get
yeah,
all that out of the way.
I agree.
And in fact, if you look like, once you get in this ATFR, if you look like you can get H2, then I could even do it now. But I want to make sure.
Okay, I think both fields are in.
Okay. And then I think whoever's writing to it, Stephanie will give us that.
Two.
Copy your ingress through. Check ingress aid stowed and tethers clear.
Tethers are clear. Ingress 8 is stowed.
What is the serial number for this battery?
0097.
Copy 0097. That's the expected serial number. For RET positioning, attach a RET to the H1 scoop, locking it out with slack.
Copy. So, man, my thought is, I'll use your assistance because of this, a little bit of a reach in here. I'll take, and then we'll just keep it in soft dock until you're in position.
Okay, sounds good. I see your red is locked out on
Locked
H1.
out. Okay.
I have Alpha 7, counter 2 set.
Okay, I see Alpha 7 counterclockwise 2 is set.
Those are good settings. Confirm tape line flush to the H2 scoop.
Line flush. And you keep a hand on the back here.
Looking good.
30 turns.
Copy.
19 turns.
Checking.
The crew now in a good configuration to begin the unbolting. Again, there are 2 bolts that secure the old nickel hydrogen battery to the station.
Skipping at 17 turns, and we are in unlock.
And I'll push down while you take it out. The soft dock.
Okay, it's back in soft dock, I see, and I'll give you PGT back.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Copy 17 turn status indicator unlock, and also unlock the red.
That's unlocked.
When you remove the battery, Christina will receive the H2 side.
Okay.
All right, so you can lean back. I'll go ahead and do my translation like we talked about. Get inboard of you.
Better for you if I lean back and do it, or if I stand soft dock and you do it?
Oh, I was thinking you lean back and it stays in soft dock. Is that possible?
Let's see. I would have to lock this out again. I need more lean back than that, huh? Okay. Now you're fitting. Nice. Yeah, I think hard part is fast. Have a good eye at the tether there because I'm not able to see it.
The safety tether?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Good eye. All right, I'm inboard with you down at the base of the APFR.
Perfect.
And standby one, I'll get in position. And I think
Which hand do you want to present?
it would be better for me if I can put my left hand out. And let me get down. I think this position I'm in right now will get us there. So I'm getting the local down, and I'll let you know.
Okay.
Go. Okay, I am ready. And if you wouldn't mind repeating which H you'd like me to grab.
Christina, you received the H2 scoop.
A good view from Christina Cook's helmet camera. You can see Andrew Morgan in the portable foot restraint pulling out that battery.
And
Christina Cook in a good handoff position from there. That nickel hydrogen battery weighing in at 364 pounds.
my clearance over my head.
Clearance over your head is good.
Safe.
You just, I see what you're doing, and I think it's works great.
I'll be able to bring it to you.
Yep. Nice job. That was awesome. Okay, I have the battery.
You have the battery.
Yep. I'll be able to get into position so you can.
Okay.
Great coastline we're passing over. Not sure where that is. Looks like maybe the Bahamas. Gorgeous.
Come shimmy down.
Okay, yeah, it's looking great.
Coming lower.
Nickel hydrogen battery currently in the hands of Christina Cook, allowing Andrew Morgan to get out of that portable foot restraint so they can both make their way over to the external pallet. Once there, they're going to do a handoff maneuver similar to what they did at the beginning of today's spacewalk, handing off between the nickel hydrogen battery and an adapter plate that's currently on the external pallet.
Yes, please. There. I'm going to take the on the same one. Okay. I have the battery.
Okay, use the battery.
Again, while the two spacewalkers move the battery from where they just pulled it from on the station over to the external pallet, communication will be key to make sure that they have a good handle on the battery and that it's secured to the station, either in the hands of the astronaut and securely tethered Once they have a good position and they have the battery attached to themselves, they'll make their way over to the external pallet.
Okay, I'm in position. And I have the battery.
You have the battery. Damping out. Thank you. It's directed up. I have the battery.
You have the battery. Yeah, I have the battery.
You have the battery. I think we're going to be in the handoff position here.
So,
I'd like to be able to get my hand right here.
yep. Push my level down and...
Yep. Go to that one as well. I have the battery.
Okay, you have the battery.
Andrew Morgan and Christina Cook working through the procedures to shepherd the nickel hydrogen battery over to the external pallet. Great communication and teamwork by the two as they make their way over.
Foxtrot 3 for the rolling yaw. If that sounds good to you, I'll go ahead and ingress.
We copy all. The SSRMS brakes are on. You have a go to ingress.
Copy.
Battery in the hands of Andrew Morgan as Christina Cook makes her way. You can see that structure sticking out from the truss segment of the space station. That is a portable foot restraint.
In order for me to get the good handoff.
We
For
copy.
the adapter plate, should be clear.
Copy that. We're coordinating with the SSRMS.
And one is standing by.
Yeah, hi, Luca.
Right foot, right in the loop. I'm a little bit off the pedal, a little more Towards the midline, there you go. So, right foot right at the toe loop. Re-ingress aid, yep, that's perfect. Get a little more acute.
Three hours, 35 minutes into today's spacewalk, Christina Cook making her way into the portable foot restraint as Andrew Morgan holds the nickel hydrogen battery that'll be stowed on the external pallet for eventual disposal. Space station currently 260 statute miles over the northern Atlantic Ocean.
Wheels almost there. Left toes at the right depth.
All right. All right.
Great job.
Thank you. Thanks for the driving.
Lost track of how many ingresses we've had.
That's 6. I haven't lost track. Stephanie, am I reading to the battery tether point or to H2? My BRT ret?
Well, we also copy 6 ingresses and check ingress aid stowed, tethers clear. Yes, check ingress aid stowed, tethers clear, and your BRT ret will attach to the battery tether point.
Copy. And ingress aid and tethers are clear. BRT ret inward.
Nana, your right heel, if you could rotate it to the right just a little bit. I mean, it's mostly in, but if we...
Okay, well, let's be sure. I'm going to have a lot of mass on me.
Christina Cook successfully entering the portable foot restraint once again, many times during this spacewalk. Now looking forward to the handoff of the nickel hydrogen battery from Andrew Morgan over to Christina Cook. Now she's in a good position for installing it on the external pallet right in front of her. Of course, the adapter plate, which you can see from the helmet camera of Christina Cook, is in the way. They have to remove the adapter plate first before installing the nickel hydrogen battery. That adapter plate is necessary for the configuration of the lithium-ion battery on the station. So they'll remove it and do a handoff technique just like they did earlier in today's spacewalk.
Hey, my red is off.
Okay.
You have the battery.
I have the battery.
All right, Stephanie, if this is a good time for me and Luca to just do a quick ETA.
and one is standing by.
And I would say, Drew, let me make sure that I'm absolutely clear with this VRT stow. But that is shortly happening, so.
And also, when it's a good time, I have some friendly reminders for the work at the EP.
Okay, we can go ahead with those reminders.
Copy. Do not impart loads. Keep your translation speed slow. Wait until EP motion dampens out. Do not simultaneously impart loads. And when braking torque, apply less than 55 pounds force.
Copy that.
Copy all.
Drew, if you like, you can work with Luca for GCA, and then once you're happy and we get brakes on, you can translate onto the EP, and we can do the work to brake torque.
Okay, copy. Nana, before I talk to Luca, I'll check with you. I'm going to bring it towards the feet again, but not as far this time, about maybe 10 centimeters. And then I was going to bring it, you need it toward you, body in. Okay, so I'll let you do that. And then, Luca, if you're there.
Yep, the brakes are off and I'm ready to maneuver.
Okay, so start GCA. I'll be the first GCA input. If you would come towards Nana's feet, 15 centimeters.
Copy, 15 centimeters toward Nana's feet.
Luca Parmitano inside the International Space Station at the controls of the station's robotic arm, which is currently holding the external pallet right in front of them.
Starting motion.
Andrew Morgan giving relative cues based on his position, which is best to work with the external pallet and the robotic arm currently in motion.
15 centimeters.
Okay, that looks good, Luca. Let's end GCA there, and then I'll hand it over to Christina to give hers.
Okay, copy NGCA for EV2. EV1, go ahead.
Okay. Give me a second, Luca. Sorry, I need to make more certain that this battery will not be in the envelope of the movement of the EP. And by that, I mean the one on my BRT. So.
Your time.
Okay. And let's go ahead and start with Luca. 20 centimeters toward me, so towards body in for me.
20 centimeters, 20 towards you. Motion.
Parmitano maneuvering the station's robotic arm and the external pallet towards a good relative position to Andrew Morgan. Now Christina Cook offering some suggestions on what works best for her. You can see the arm in motion coming slightly towards her to give her a good position for getting that external or the adapter plate from the external pallet.
We'll need a little bit more, so let's take another 10, please.
Let's stop GCA for 1 second. I think maybe I should go ahead and get on the EP.
I see that.
Because otherwise I'm going to be jammed in here, and then we'll probably have to take some of that back out for me to get back down.
Happy and concur.
Okay, copy, and standing by for when I need a brake. Probably need the brakes on at this point.
Yep, let's call this GCA complete for now.
Copy, GCA complete, and brakes coming on. Brakes are on.
Okay, copy.
Go for EP operations.
Okay, copy. Brakes are on, and so I'm going to translate out now. And the position now be a little tighter if we go in much more, so we're probably going to have to see out. Or one thing I could do with when I get the adapter plate is I'll come all the way out here to the end maybe. before going back to the structure.
That's a good idea. I won't be able to send it through the slot, but I think that's a good idea in terms of clearance to structure.
Yep.
.30 seconds to a 20-second handover.